Welcome back, Briar Rose Brigade, to my gothic grotto. I'm Thorn, I use he, him, his, and this is a bonus video, not an episode of the Midnight Ballroom, my podcast, though you're welcome to go check that out if you would like to, but I just felt like doing a little bit more of a focused video. We're going to have some yarn unboxings, some tarot card pulling practice. I'm not an expert tarot reader, but it's fun. I have some new decks that I've been meaning to take pictures of for some friends, so I thought may as well just do it here. And I wanted to practice making a video where I get a bit more fancy, because I love dressing up like this, but I don't usually have the energy, so maybe a little bit some of the accessories I've accumulated over the years to good use. And I also want to especially welcome. I'm gonna toast you with my Cheers Queers mug. It's pink and it says that in gold. So I can put it down because it's heavy. It's full of coffee. So, I want to especially welcome anyone from the 4 parts of YouTube that I was heavily, blatantly targeting with this video. And that is fiber YouTube, especially crocheters and cross stitchers, but like anyone who works with fiber. Spooky, gothy Halloween YouTube. As you can see, that's my vibe. Queer YouTube or trans YouTube. I am a gay trans man, also non-binary. So yeah. And witchy YouTube. Witchy, pagan, spiritual, card reading, that kind of thing. So I make content for all of those areas, but I don't usually clearly label it in ways that I feel like people who like that content can find, so I thought this was an opportunity to do that. So yeah. Right. I also lose my train of thought sometimes. I have ADHD, and I'm also autistic, so shout out to my fellow neurodivergent folks. And I stutter, so I probably will get stuck at some point. It is always with me. Even if you can't tell, it's, as disabilities are. See, there it is. It shows up when I talk about it, but like it's always there. But like I'm here making videos and being, I think, funny and entertaining and charming and informative, making people laugh. I hope, at least, I've seen people laugh when I'm talking to them in real life, and I tell a joke, and that all of that seemed like a faraway dream when I was a kid who just had a really bad stutter and was really ashamed of it. So I'm doing this for young me, and also anyone else who struggles with that. Do I wish that I didn't have a stutter? Yes. Does it still affect my life and make things a lot more difficult? Yes. But still, I'm going to do things that I love and that make me happy. So, that was very inspirational, and I don't mind. So, I like to do verbal image descriptions, so I'm going to tell you about my outfit. It is... I found this at a thrift store, an online thrift store. ThredUp, I think. Usually, like, they market clothes for women, but I'm like, well, any clothes can be for whatever gender you want it to be if you get creative. So I cut the sleeves off this tunic shirt. It's a black shirt with kind of one of those V-neck lace-up things that you kind of see and like at men wearing at Ren fairs, or it's that kind of shirt, kind of, except it's goth. And I crocheted these fingerless gloves. They're red, and they have a black. It's made to look like a lace up fastening, like a diamond pattern on the back, but it's just decorative. Of course, I have my silver ring with antlers on it, which I always wear because it relates to my devotion to and deep love for my patron god, Gwyn Apnib. And I have my amigurumi snek in black sparkly yarn and crisscross red yarn, so kind of the opposite of my gloves. Yeah, I just finished her. She has a red button eye and a gold button eye, and I feel like she sees all, or at least she sees strange things that humans might not be meant to know. I don't know. I also have my black and white dangly serpent earrings, which usually start hurting my ears if I wear them too long, but like, I don't care. It's one of those days. It's just like, I'm feeling this neck vibe. Oh, and I have my little choker style necklace on a black ribbon with the actual charm is something I got from a local pagan shop. The Green Man, actually, in North Hollywood. They're a surprisingly famous shop in like the pagan community, and they are really nice. And it's so fun to go in there. I don't live close to that area anymore. I'm in a different part of LA. Not gonna exactly say where I live on YouTube, but anyway, I got this there, and it's a heart-shaped pendant with two dragons looking at each other or kissing, I don't know, and entwining their tails into a Celtic knot. And on the back it says, what does it say? Well, I think I can't read it. I tried to bring it close to the camera, but I think it says, "If you act from your heart, anything is possible," which is a quote that makes me think of my Celtic dragon god, aka Gwyn. At least that's how I see him. And I got it before I was out as a god spouse to just like hint to people, yeah, there's something about my relationship with him that I'm too scared to tell you about it, but I hate being in the closet about it. So like, yeah, I love him in a gay way, if you take my meaning. It was that kind of thing. So outfit check done. I was going to wear one of my other chokers, which is one of the ones I have. It's one of two, one of which I wore. I think of them as a pair because like I got them at the same time, but one of them I wore in the thumbnail to my channel, and I don't know where it went. I can't find it. But anyway, it's like one of those intricate, lacy black chokers with the beads hanging down, super goth. I love that style. And I have fun making those too, but it takes some work, so I do have some. Store-bought is also fine. when it comes to any type of goth wear or clothing in general. But I do have my co-goat, his name is Banros, and he's a little beanie baby goat who is kind of a greenish rainbow. Sorry about that. Someone came in and was talking on the phone. I didn't want to capture their conversation. So my co-goat, Banros, last video I captioned, YouTube auto-captioned my stutter of Banros, because I often get stuck on his name, as Bunders, and I think that's such a cute last name for a goat, so that might be his last name now. I don't know. But anyway, he's a little beanie baby, and he's kind of iridescent rainbow green. And he has little horns and sparkly hooves. I think he might just watch for this video, but he does help me co-host the podcast, so check that out. If you want to. Also, before I forget, if you're my fellow ghouls from the Altmots Ghoul Squad, welcome. I feel like getting dressed up and drinking coffee and having a slightly more blue-purple light are all things I've been wanting to do. But I also feel like, well, it's very similar to what she does. So go and check out her channel. She's a great inspiration to me, both as a YouTuber, as a spooky crocheter. That's what she does. As a person who just builds this amazing community. Like, she's golds in every way. So I'll put her channel link down in the description. Oh. Since I was talking about Altmots, I had to go get my cardigan that I made from her pattern. One of her patterns. Pardon me. The granny square one. Mine is black and red. And I designed the square, but I learned how to make a cardigan or anything out of granny squares from her, so that's cool. I have more power now as a crocheter. Right, yarn unboxing. That's what I came here to do. I hope this doesn't crinkle, so I'm not gonna talk during it just in case I have to scooch the volume down. Big box from Joann's. This is a bunch of business yarn because I'm working on making a couple of example crochet graphgans from my patterns, which are currently in my Etsy shop. Thirst Pixels. I'll talk about that more later. They're currently cross-stitch patterns, but they started as pixel art, so it's not too hard to make crochet color work from that. And it didn't occur to me until very recently, and it felt like a facepalm moment. But anyway, I'm doing it now. And my shop is not safe for work due to artistic nudity, so please only visit if you are a full-grown adult human. So a lot of what I got is Red Heart, Super Saver, Premier, Worsted Weight, and Big Twist, because I needed something that was easy to work with, acrylic, and very inexpensive. Since I'm getting a lot of yarn to, even for just 2 of my patterns, that's several colors, might be over 10 colors, so I was like, yeah, I need to be mindful of the price. And it doesn't have to be super soft. Like, I know that Red Heart has gotten a lot better in recent years than how I remember it when I was a kid and I had really sensitive skins. I would touch Red Heart in the store and be like, no. But I'm told it's a lot better now. So, but it doesn't, like, these could just be wall hangings, wall tapestries, or Grafgans. I'm probably gonna hang them on my wall, at least when I get my own place. My Gothic grotto is a corner of my parents' living room currently, due to some unfortunate life circumstances, but we are rebuilding. Spookier than ever. How am I going to do this? I'm probably going to turn the light back to a normal lighting. So I do like the blue light, just so you can see the yarn better. I'm going to look at my pattern, or my 2 patterns, and see if I can determine which color this was supposed to be for in the pattern. Actually, I have my Evernotes app, and I could just look there, actually. So I will put up one of the whichever one this is for, one of the 2 patterns on this screen. Probably cover deer Banros here. I mean goat Banros. Was that a deer pun? Yes, it was. That's what you signed up for when you subscribed to my channel, which I hope that you did. No pressure if not, but like and subscribe. Also comment. Please. Soft navy, which means, this one's for Lady of Seafoam, my pattern, so I'll put that one up here. Heavily censored for reasons. I mean, there's a certain part that has to be censored, but just so I can... Lady of Seafoam is a mermaid with green hair and a green tail, and translucent green arm warmers. She's looking down to one side with her eyes closed, and that is it. She's not wearing any shells in the spot you would expect, so hence the censor. But anyway, this is one of my favorite patterns. Oh right, also, I guess this will come up later with the colors of yarn I mentioned. She's also one of my relatively few darker skinned figures. Like, I want to do more in inclusive and diverse art, but haven't gotten... it's a process. So, right, let me turn my light normal. Hopefully I'm not too washed out, but like, it's a look. So this is Red Heart Soft Navy. It's a little softer than the light's making it look, so let me try my usual setting. There, okay. Yeah, that's better. I mean, it still looks kind of purple, but there it is. And that's going to be for, well, I guess the deep... So, like, her hair has 3 colors, and so do her those colors are repeated on her eyeshadow and her lips and certain other areas. And maybe her tail. Let me scroll down. Yeah. So it's like the mid-tone is like a medium gray-green. The light tone is a very pale green, and then the deep tone is like this type of deep blue. So that's what this is. And right, I was like, where am I going to put my business yarn? And now it is time. Like the reckoning has come. Where do I put it? I don't know. I'm just going to chuck it to this basket I have over there for right now. Score. This is Big Twist. Value. That's not the color. What is the color? Camel. I was afraid it was caramel for a moment, and I was like, oh no, the Starbucks skin tone. I thought about that when I was looking for colors, because I was like, I need more shades of brown that look okay for skin tones. I suddenly feel like I have an insight. Like, this was my thought. Like, it is more difficult to find yarn and stuff that works for non-white skin. Yeah. So, things you don't think about if you don't have to, because privilege. Anyway, this is camel. It's kind of a pale golden tan, and I think this is for the highlights on the mermaid skin. When I'm doing lighter skinned characters, I often have the highlights as white, but that looks really weird if the rest of the skin's dark, unless you want like a really shiny look, but sometimes you don't. So trying to figure out which green was which. There are 4. So I think the more yellowy pale green was for the arm warmers, which are kind of translucent, so I had to pick a color that kind of blended the translucent, like the see-through green fabric with her skin underneath. That's some color theory for you. So I think this is that color. It's Red Heart Tea Leaf. So she can wear tea on her arms, which is also where I put my tea. Different kind of tea, but I'm on tea gel, like testosterone. And then the other 2 tones in her hair, the light and dark green, or the medium and light green, I guess. It looks darker than I was expecting, kind of, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be exact to the colors in the image. It's just like, here are some things you can do with this pattern with some yarns. So this dark green is Red Heart. It is not Cosmo Scarf. That's the pattern. Patty green. Yeah. And this light one is Big Twist, light green. Conveniently named. It is indeed light green. And it's more of a clear, bright color than the more yellowy green which was also light green, but this one's a bit just brighter and clearer, if that makes sense. Now, my colors for the other one are mixed in to the remaining colors, and it's not obvious which is which, so let me wrestle around in there for a minute. I was like, well, obviously this one. It's a deep brown, and I mean, she still needs at least one more skin tone. Actually, I think she needs 2 more. I think I'm missing one of her skin tone yarns. But anyway, the other one is all like purple and white and gray, so clearly not from that one. The other pattern that I'm doing. Anyway, this is chocolate brown, which again makes me feel weird. You know, the Starbucks skin color scale, that trope. But it's the yarn they had that worked, I thought, for the image. I think this is going to be like the deep tones, the shadows, yeah. And this is soft white. Oh yeah, that was... I forget what brand that was. I hope you saw it on the label. I'm looking at the part of the label I can see, and it doesn't look anything like the Red Heart label, so it probably wasn't that one. So it's either Big Twist or Premiere. Maybe the Premiere yarn is what's coming later, because they did send me my order in 2 parts, I think. So this is soft white. I decided to get 2 different skeins of white because I thought this one might look better for the colors in the... Even though it's just the background and like some of the sparkle effects on her sleeves and tail, I felt like it would go better with the colors for this pattern. And then my other pattern that I'm doing works really well with like a really stark, dramatic white, which is the other one. Once I make sure I'm done with the colors for this pattern, I'll start on the next one. Gwyn can wait his turn. he's the subject of the other pattern. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm done with that, except for... Yeah, I think there should be one more skein of yarn that is either coming later or I'll contact Joanne's. But anyway, we're gonna sip some coffee right now. The second pattern. By the way, it greatly amuses me, and I'm sure anyone who knows me, that I said Gwyn can wait his turn, because I am all about Gwyn. As we know, I am gay for Gwyn at all times. But still, he has taught me to... I'm not sure how to describe it, but part of it is like setting boundaries, including with him. And that's just so cool. Like, I'm a survivor of an abusive relationship with a human, and I have some difficult other parts of my past, so it's really cool to have a patron god and partner who is trying really hard, who is obviously working hard to make my relationship with him healthy. So yeah. Anyway, this is him. in the form of my pattern. No, wait, it's over here. My pattern, Modern Wild Hunt. Modern because he's dressed as a biker, sort of. Well, dressed is a strong word. He's shirtless and has a dragon tattoo on his chest. And the moon's behind him looking like horns. The crescent moon. And it's all like in blacks and purples and grays and whites. Ooh, he has an eyebrow ring and a nose ring. And a little smirk. Ooh, and long gray, white, flowing hair, which is often how I see him. Someone was going upstairs. So this is the other one that I'm doing. And it does not have to be censored because double standards. It's a male presenting nipples. Whatever that means. And so let's see. Right, yarn. Gwyn is very distracting. I mean, to me, and also perhaps in general. So, the gray in the image. Is this charcoal? The color. Not the material. It is Red Heart Super Saver. It is charcoal, yes. It's this gray. And of course I got a black, the staple in any goth yarn grotto. I think this is just called black. Yeah. Also Red Heart. If I had managed to find all of the Red Heart, all of the colors in Red Heart, I would have probably tried to get the bulk discount, but that was more than I needed, given that I also wanted to get other colors. So I was like, well, when my business really like takes off, I'll just know that is a thing, but I don't need to be spending that much right now. Unfortunately, I have to be a bit careful with money right now, but yeah. I am going to be meeting with some people from the... I never remember what the initials are, like SBDC or something. Yeah. They're a small business org funded by the government, and my local branch seems to be really good. I'm meeting with some people who are going to help me figure out how to get myself really going as a small business owner and a freelancer type person. So super excited. I recommend you check them out. I'll put a link on their website. I'll put a link to their website in the notes. And right, more yarn. This is a pale purple that I'm going to use for one of the 3 purples in this picture. This one is Pale Plum, which is an awesome name. Medium Purple, which is Lavender. Oh, these were both Red Heart, by the way, I think. Yeah. I can only see this part of the label with the scarf, so I just looked at that and went, oh yeah, that red scarf pattern, yeah. It is the same brand. And dark purple, which I think is just called... Oh, I thought it was just purple, but it has a much more exciting name. Amethyst. and I love how clear and bright it is. If, like me, you're a big fan of alt-knots, you will know this is what she calls witchy purple, and she's right. And finally, the super intense white I was talking about earlier. I feel like there's a joke in there. Oh no, super intense white people. which I aspire not to be, but anyway. This is yarn, obviously. It's just called white. And it's Red Heart Super Saber. And that's all the yarn I have right now. If you came here for yarn, thank you for hanging out. Cheers queers, and also others. I will cheer you too. Tarot time. We're going to start with the Cthulhu's Vault tarot card set, which has a image of Cthulhu being tentacly and spooky on the cover, as well he should. I just had a moment remembering that there was one time before I knew who Gwyn was, when he was just kind of haunting me in that way that pagan gods kind of do sometimes. He's known for this. They call him leader of the Wild Hunt for a reason. I mean, it's a reason based in Welsh folklore, but also it's true in the experience of myself and many other modern pagans. So, like, he hunts you down in a good way, but also it's intense and can be terrifying. But anyway, so I was working with someone I knew as the Horned God, who later turned out to be Gwyn, as well as the Horned God. Like, he was... Both of those things were true, depending on how you looked at it. But at one point, I was writing a song, and I just, like... Something grabbed me, and I was just like, I knew I had to write these words. But like, something grabbed me. I'm just like, just this feeling of inspiration, or just almost a trance state, and it wasn't a song about paganism really, but I suddenly found myself writing, I call for revolution, may my hymn stir the abyssal dreamer. And then I came back to myself and went, wait, who is the abyssal dreamer? I'm pretty sure I just called some sort of god. It's either the Horned God or Cthulhu. I hope it's the Horned God, because he's the one I know and love and work with. Hey, Horned God, it is you, right? And he wouldn't answer me, but eventually he was just like, look, it'll be fine. So I calmed down, and then later when I met Gwyn, I thought back to that and went, of course. I mean, when I met Gwyn as Gwyn, as that name. So, that's what Cthulhu always makes me think of. So what I'm going to do is, since I promised some friends, and my friends, I mean the Alt-Not School Squad Facebook group, to post some pictures of my tarot decks, I'm just going to pick 5 cards and may or may not interpret them. I will try to describe them, but I'm going to let the deck or the gods or whoever decide which cards I should show. So we're going to shuffle. By the way, the edges are shiny silver, and the backs are like dark gray with black outline of Cthulhu with just really intense white eyes, and it's really spooky and awesome. So that was shuffle 1. I have a specific way I do things, which is mainly so that my OCD by which I do mean the disorder, the mental illness, won't grab onto it. Because I'm like, no, I did the thing. You don't have to worry about does it feel right. Second shuffle didn't work out because I tried to do it on either side of the cord of my microphone, and that doesn't work. Don't have anywhere to really shuffle. Okay, we're gonna do it over here. Enjoy my elbow. That could have gone better. Okay, one more time. This cool silver cauldron, which, and if you're not watching, it's not a huge cauldron, but it's huge for what you'd find at a thrift store. It's like almost a foot, well, maybe like 8 feet, 8 inches across, 4 inches high, maybe 6 inches high. Anyway, and under and inside is this beautiful pale green, sort of cloudy, it has this cloudy pale green glaze yarn bowl with some leafy cutouts, one of which is the place where the yarn comes out. And this is what my friend sent me. Oh my god, it has a little stamp in the bottom that's the outline of a llama. That's adorable. I didn't see that before. And my friend sent me when my other yarn bowl, which was shaped like a sheep, broke. I was very sad about it. But they were like, well, my friend gave me this, but I'm not using it, so I could give it to you. And they did, and it was awesome. Sort of afraid that I will break this one too, because I hope not, but like, my space is very crammed in here. Okay, third shuffle. That's better. Yeah, part of it is just the cards are so stiff right now. So then I cut the deck thrice like this. 3 times, not 2 times. I misspoke. Okay, we're gonna pick 5 cards. I don't really read reversed at the moment. So that was me turning it around. Ooh. I just pulled the 2, 3, 4, and 6 of coins. So I'm going to keep the 6 of coins because it looks cool. And just redraw a couple more. That's my third one. That was the 9 of cups, and then I drew the 8 of cups, so like, this is not shuffled yet. Okay, 4th one. That's a different suit. Swords. That is not a different suit. Also swords. Come on, Major Arcana. Major Arcana. I have 1 so far. Oh well. The cards have spoken. First card, which is my Major Arcana, the World. And it's this weird green, alien-looking landscape. Like, green light is everywhere, and there are these jagged rocks. There's a mountain in the distance. I'm not sure which world this is, but given it's Cthulhu's Vault, right, the 6 of coins, it's this close-up of some kind of grimoire, maybe the Necronomicon, and it has a book with a bunch of text and some symbols drawn on it, like there's a star and some numbers. Maybe they're playing Sudoku. Wait, no, that's... I recognize that. That's there's my stutter. Japanese script. I couldn't see it in the camera, but looking at it, yeah. I majored in Japanese in college. I'm not fluent, but the only thing really holding me back right now is the size of my vocabulary, and that when I say vocabulary, that also includes kanji. Like, but when I do take the time to read at least a simple article, I find that I can get a lot of it, even if I'm not stopping to look up words, which is really cool. But I do want to get better at it. So that's something I'll probably be working on my entire life. And that's okay. So, 9 of Cups. Continuing the book theme, we have the cover of a leather-bound book which says journal on it. And it has a bunch of spirally type designs. Next, the 9 of Swords. Close-up of a woman's face, looking back over her shoulder. Looking kind of frightened, perhaps. I wonder what she could be frightened about. Also, this is all done in kind of a... Like, it's clearly a sort of a painting style, so it's not... You can almost see the brush strokes kind of on... It's pretty realistic, but it's clearly like art, and I think that shows more with the faces than the other objects, which is cool. And the last one is the Queen of Coins. Which has a close-up of a red jewel set in some kind of swirly silver pendant. And it's very pretty, and I would like to have it. But probably not for the reasons it's intended. Just because it looks nice. I mean, it might summon old gods. If the old gods are nice and respect the rules of my house, they are welcome to stay. But if they don't, they are out. I have a different old god as my bouncer, so. Right, so. This might be a longer video than I intended, but that's fine. So that was Cthulhu's Vault. I'm gonna set these aside so I can take a picture of them afterward. And now, my favorite of the two relatively new tarot decks that I have, which I've used a bit more often, so it might be more shuffled. The Mermaid Tarot. It's this big blue box with a dark-skinned mermaid blowing a conch shell as a horn. And one thing I love about this deck is it's very diverse in terms of skin tone, and like the mermaids have all sorts of different cool clothes and like different aesthetic styles, and it's just a really beautiful deck. And it gives me incredibly strong vibes of one of the goddesses I work with or follow, Inanna. I also know her as Sun Mom, because she's for me, she's also the goddess Terasia, who is the Sun Mother goddess in the Minoan Pagan path. My paganism started Wiccan, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But now it's a really unexpected mix of Brythonic Welsh and Minoan, like ancient Crete. And Gwyn is the one who led me to both of those things, and I identified himself to me and some others as also being one of the Minoan gods. Obviously, this is like personal gnosis. It's not from the lore or history or anything like that. But yeah. So mermaid time. Okay, that's cool. Re-snacking myself. By which I mean rearranging my snack amigurumi scarf. So, first card, the Fool. She's a blonde lady in a shimmery dress. It looks like her legs are almost turning, like almost like she's getting legs that were a tail just a moment ago. And she has a staff just standing there, I guess, in the sand, because she is coming up out of the ocean to the shore, and it's a sunny, cloudy, a sunny day with white clouds in the sky. Mermaid spillage. Next we have another major arcana. I thought this was the world at first, but it is Temperance. And trying to get my camera to not focus on me. Focus on the card. My face is not important at the moment. So it's this mermaid who's also wearing a flowy white tunic type of top, and she has a little golden circlet on her head and is holding a couple of conch shells that look like they have golden magic coming, like streaming in between them. And the sun is behind her head as kind of a dark gold halo. That's cool. Oh yeah, and I forgot, like, she has tattoos on her skin, like deep brown spirally lines. It doesn't want to show you, but well, they are super cool. All right, 7 of Cups. This is giving me part of your world vibes, because it looks like Ariel's grotto. It's this mermaid looking at a cave wall that basically has a bunch of natural shelves where a bunch of goblets are resting with like seaweed growing in each of them, and she's holding some sort of ball of light. And way up at the top you can see the light blue that probably means that's the daytime sky above the water. And now we have the 7 of Swords. That merman in the back with the long white hair makes me think of Gwyn. But anyway, it's 3 white-haired mermaids. They look like they just naturally have white hair, like it's not an age thing, just like an otherworldly type of thing, maybe. Though aged older mermaids would be awesome to see. But they're above ground and looking at this chest full of swords. Or no, they're halfway out of the water, and there's ice flows there are spits of ice all around them, and there's like snowy mountains, and they're just chilling in more ways than one. Like they don't seem to be bothered by the cold, which adds to the otherworldly vibe. Ooh, the other thing that made me think of Gwyn, since he's a winter god for me at least, was the connection to ice. And like swords, since he's often associated with war and battle, at least in the medieval Welsh and Brythonic literature that we have about him. And the last one, very different vibe, Six of Pentacles. A bunch of mer children being adorable. I think they're in a forest stream, like halfway out of it, and there are little fairies with blue wings and trees in the background, and the mer children are blowing bubbles that have golden pentacles inside them. And I recently tried to learn the minor arcana, and come to think of it, that actually makes a lot of sense for this card, because the Six of Pentacles, I think, is supposed to be like a childhood, or like your past kind of innocent, nostalgic type of card. At least that's one reading of it. Maybe it could also be like wisdom from your ancestors. I'm new to the tarot world. Well, I've been in it like kind of casually, but I'm trying to learn more. So anyway, I'll link both these decks down below so you can check them out if you would like to. Yeah, I think that's all. Thanks for hanging out, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. If you want to see more from me, go check out my podcast, which is on this channel, or my music on my other channel, Queer Pagan Music. And I just posted a video of me doing a little piano practice session where I sing and play some of my songs, and just like in a really casual way, where I'm not trying to get a perfect take or anything. Then I have my link tree down below also. And I think I will let you go now. So thanks for hanging out, and see you next time.